Hello and welcome to another Nikomedia tutorial. So today we will recreate this one here. And I rendered this with Octane, and the project file for patrons is already online to download. But we will try this with physical render as well, so that I can show you how you can... it will not look that good like in Octane, but we will get a nice result, I think. So yeah, I think we could simply start without further ado. Good. Sorry. Now let's start. So I start with a Torus, then I create this Helix thing, and then blah blah blah, make it in volume builder, and and so on. Good. Let's make this closer. Sorry again for the noise in the background. This is my fan, and but without the fan, it would be too hot here inside. And if I would start the air condition, you would hear nothing else but the air condition. So I hope that is okay. So okay, I need an Torus. Yep. Z plus C, and make the radius about 40. Yep. And we need quite a lot of subdivision because I want to put this later on in a volume builder, and so I don't have to smooth it out a lot. So when I already have a lot of subdivisions. The next step is I need a helix around this torus. So let's do this. What I do is first I make a circle. Our torus has a radius of 100 centimeter. So let's go here to 100. And now I need a helix. A helix I want like this, XC. And we have here a pipe radius of 40, so exactly this 40 we need for our helix as well. So 40, 40. And now, nothing simpler than that, I just use a Spline Wrapper. Here. I selected already my helix, so when I hold now the Shift key and click on the Spline Wrap, it will become a child of my helix, you see. And in this Spline Wrap, here in the spline, I drag in my circle. You see, okay, that looks not correct, because we have here the helix along the y-axis, so xy, so we need here to go in the plus y. And now let's hide the lines. You see, that would be correct. Let's see what we have here. Let's go here to make this 10th the time, so that's too much. And when I have such a long spline, we have to go with the subdivisions here up to 500. See, now that looks nice. And this is too much. Let's halve this, 3600. This could work, but it's still a little much. I make here minus 720. Yeah, that looks okay for me. And let's save this so that we don't lose anything. Save is as helix around torus tutorial. Okay. Now I put my torus in a volume builder and volume measure, of course. On Patreon I have a small script that makes everything at once. So let's go to my startup layout here. And you see I have here, this is the volume builder measure. So normally you have to go to here, then make a volume builder, then put the volume builder in the volume mesher, and when I do this with my small script, I just hold my Alt key and click on this, and everything is set up nicely. And yeah, as I said, you can download this small script from Patreon if you are a patron. And yeah, I think we have enough space here. I can stay with my startup layout, I think. Yep, why not? But maybe it's easier for you when you make a standard layout. So the next step is we have now the torus. With NB I bring back the lines, and you see we have the volume, but I need it much denser, so something like that looks good. And now I bring in my volume builder, I bring in the Helix spline as well. You see, and here is something, and let's see what it does with the Helix spline here. The Helix spline, the radius is 1.5. We see this is a little small for now, but what we need is a density. I go up with density so you get a nicer spline. And here, let's see, 10 maybe? No, a little more. 15. 15 looks good for me here. But I don't want to add this. I don't want to be union, I want to subtract it. So now I get this here. It's exactly what I want. We have nice edges. We could smooth it out a little bit. That looks not so fuzzy. So go to SDF smooth, and 1 should be enough here. Yeah, but I want it then a little sharper, so I go down here with the density. But be careful here a little bit. But normally Cinema warns you if it goes too high. So 0.5 should be fine here. Yeah, that looks perfect. Now I want to make current state to object out of this. And I don't need this whole segments here. What I need it on the edges, but not really here. So here I don't need it much. So we can go to the volume measure, and here in the adaptive try 1.5 or something else, 1%. And now you see we have the subdivisions where we need it and not where we don't need it really. So that looks fine so far. I take this. We remesh this later on, so it does not. I do not care what it looks like now. Even this would work because we don't need UVs. So okay, now I make current state to object here. Right click, current state to object, and this is our torus. Let's hide it for the moment. And now I need exactly the opposite. So I go to my volume builder here, and instead of subtract, I go to intersect. Now I get this helix thing here, and I wanna have this again. So current state to object. Boing, everything is here. Helix, and we can disable this and hide it. So maybe we need it later. Don't forget this to save it. So as I said, we do not really need to remesh this, but in R26 we have a nice remesher, so we could try to remesh it. Or if you don't have R26 or so, but you have the quad remesher, most of the time I use the quad remesher, but because this still works for me better in most cases. I heard somewhere that the same guys have programmed this one, the same guys who programmed the remesher here programmed this, but I'm not sure, because as I said, sometimes most of the times the quad remesher works better for me. But in this case we can try, of course, the torus. Let's start with the torus here and put it in a remesher. Oops, this is a remesher. So here we have the remesh. So I selected my torus, hold my Alt key, so the remesher becomes now a parent of the torus. And wait a little bit, you see that works quite fast. And it works quite fast because we made this 1% in the volume measure. Otherwise it would calculate much longer. So I think we don't need it that dense, so let's try it with 10% of this. And you see we get a very, very nice mesh here. Even the edges look fine. We could try with the adaptiveness to make the edges even a little sharper. The adaptiveness means if you go here to 0, the remesher tries to make every polygon here the same size. And if you go up here, it tries to make, where I need more detail, it tries to give more polygons. So we can try, but I think in this case it will not make a lot of difference. But let's see. It gives us some more polygons on the edge, so we get a sharper edge here. Yeah, I'll stay with this one. Okay. Nice. So we can now say current state to object again. So we measure current state to object. This is the torus. Okay. Delete it from here. Bring in the helix here and put it under the remesher. Let's see what it gives us. And this looks very nice. Okay. And again, current state to object, helix. With this we can work, so I can delete the remesher here. And now we see this fits perfect together. So when I hit NA, we have a very nice mesh here. If this is a little too jaggy or something else, doesn't matter, we can put this later on. When I go Alt G here, let's see, and I can put everything in a subdivision surface. That makes it even smoother, you see. With even just one subdivision here, and we get a nice, with ND we should see it, get a nice mesh here. Okay. But I don't need a subdivision for now. Save it. So the next step is the bubbles. Bubbly, bubbly, bubbly. So I hide the torus for now. Only need this for now. Even this looks very nice, I think. I make this helix X-ray so we can see through. Okay. And now I steal from the volume builder, I steal this helix here. I don't want to see the spline wrap. And what I need this helix, but better on the inside here, not on the outside. So that means I have to make it a little smaller, the helix. So this is no problem. We had here 15 radius. Let's say with the start radius of 30 by 30. Now we should have it inside here. Yeah, everything is inside. That looks okay for me. And now we make one bubble. So, oops, a bubble. Here is a bubble. And B, so, and I make, for me at the default it's icosahedron, but it doesn't matter here what it is, but I go down with the subdivisions because I make it very small. So let's see, 1, maybe 2, but that we can change this later. See, we have here the bubble. I make it 2 for now to see better. And now drag it down. It doesn't matter where it is but in the hierarchy, but I always like drag the new things down. And I clone this, so I select it, Alt on the keyboard, cloner. And I want to clone on an object on my helix here. Boing. And this should work, so you see we have here the clones. But we want more, let's say 500. And we can go to multi-instances in this case, so we have a very nice viewport response. So, okay, 500 looks good. And of course we want now to randomize scale and position. So I go to my cloner, use a random effector, and bring it above my cloner so that I know where it's belongs to. So, and in the parameter, as I said, I want to affect the scale, uniform scale, and minus 0.5 or so should be fine. Yeah, maybe these bubbles are almost a little too big. Let's go down to 1 centimeter. Yeah, but we can change this whenever we want to do so. And I want to change the position. If this is about 15 centimeter radius, so 7. Let's see. Let's try 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Only when it's outside here in the inside where it would intersect in the torus, that does not matter. On the outside it should not go out. So let's see if we are on the safe side. This is a little close. Are the other things looking good here? Yeah, maybe let's make it 6.5. So I select all of them and just click on the P. Then I go to here, hit 6.5. Now I hold my control key and hit enter, so everything changes at once, you see. Now this should now work. As I said, here in the inside it does not matter. The outside it's okay, because we don't see the inside, so when we bring back the torus here, we see just the outside here. And the inside, that does not matter for us. We could try to make the helix a little bigger here. Here I can do the same. I click on this and control click on this. Now I have to go 35, let's say. Control on the keyboard and enter. You see, that's too much. I can hold my control key and click on the arrows here. Okay. 71 is okay. Maybe let's make the cloner here. The random to 6. Now we are on the safe side. Okay. Save. And the easiest thing ever is to animate this now. We go to the cloner and play with the offset. Of course, we could do this dynamically as well. So we could make the helix here, a collider body, the cloner rigid body, and then use the helix in a field force. But we would never get a nice loop, so with this we can be sure that it loops nicely. We could even animate the position here a little bit with a noise field and so, but it's not necessary. When this whole thing moves, you don't see it. You cannot concentrate on this. Okay, save it. Now I bring in my little expressor I made. This I use. This is align full range. This is just a little thing I made for, in most cases, for the align to spline when I want the whole range, so the whole project length, and something should be along the whole project file should be 100% or 360 degrees or whatever. And so this is a very easy thing. If you download the project file later, patrons, if you download the project file later, you will have this one in your project, and you can simply, if you want to keep it, you can simply drag it somewhere, make your own little helpers folder here or something else. But I have my things here, and here I have here little helpers. This is the cutter now. You can do something like this. Just create here a new category and so on. I showed this already. So here I go just in the. Of course, you can simply keyframe this as well. So if you make, I want here just the offset of the cloner. The project length from 0 to 100. Of course, you can make on frame 0, make a keyframe, then go to the last frame, go to 100%, make a keyframe. But every time when you change the project file, the length, you have to change the keyframes. So you have to change the curve and everything. And this is not what I want. I want that everything goes automatically. And here the only thing is go to the project settings. Here on the basic, you see what you have to do. Hit Ctrl D and drag the left corner symbol. So I hit Ctrl D, and this symbol left next to the project here, this small symbol I drag into here. Everything I need, and I don't want to align a spline in this case. I can delete this. I just bring in my cloner, and in the cloner I want to affect the offset here. And because align to spline works in percent and the offset works in percent, we have to do nothing more than to connect this. That's it. If you would, if you want to rotate something or something else, you would only have to change the range mapper here from percent to degrees, and then you can rotate something with this. And now you see when I hit now play, we have this. It's a little fast, but it is exactly over the whole time exactly 100%. And when I say okay, this is too fast for me, I want to make a longer animation, so I want to make here 500 frames. So when I hit now play, it makes the 100% along the 500 frames, and I have nothing to keyframe, I have nothing to do, and it's really, and I see here a small problem. Haha. It just looks like, but I go down with my Helix spline. Again to 30. 30 was a good number. Yep. So, okay. Save it. And now we are done more than less. We can start to animate. To texture. See, the animation works great. So we have wonderful animation here. And you couldn't tell that they don't move, or the bubble around here. This is, and you see we have a nice loop. That's perfect. What I did in my original one, I made it even slower. So I think I rendered it out with 1000 frames. But for something like this, you could use a program called Flowframes. I will put a link in the description that is able to interpolate frames. So that means when I render here 500 frames, let's say, but I want in the end effect, I want 1000 frames. I go to Flowframes and say, okay, I have here 500 frames with 25 frames per second. And I can tell them, please make 1000 frames out of this, and so it with artificial intelligence it interpolates the frames and calculates the frame. How could the frame between look like? And it works shockingly good sometimes. You can go up to, I don't know how far from, let's see, Flowframes. Where is it here? And interpolation you can go up to 10 times. So when you go 2 times would be 100 frames and so on and so on. So this is a great thing. Good. Yeah, let's start to texture this thing here. This thingy. Whoops. As I said, the Octane version is already online. And in Octane it's very easy to make this amber look like thing here and glass and everything. This is totally easy. But in a physical render it's a little harder, and for and to try to make the render times quite okay. So good. Let's start with this. What did I use in the original one here? Ah, yeah, the palm tree wood thing, but not really. So let's go to the. Of course, you can texture like however you want it, but I want to show you this with a. When you use a simple color, you don't have to care about a mapping or something else, nothing else. So, but when I go now to here, let's say wood, and I have here the. I use this one palm tree here. Bring it in, and the first thing we will see is here the Torus. That looks horrible. So I don't need in here. I don't need the displacement. We can try it later with displacement, but we have almost 2 less subdivisions for displacement. But we have, of course, the subpolygon displacement. We can go up here, so everything is possible. But you see, that looks not really nice, and I cannot go to. I am at UV mapping, but the UVs are not correct laid out here. This is nothing. We could try something like make our own UVs, but most of the time I can reach my result with the mappings, and in this case, not the shrink, the spatial mapping could help. You see? That looks 1,000 times better. We have a wonderful, and the UV map couldn't be better. And yeah, save it. Of course, I wanna make here a nice. Let's go to my startup here. Just to bring in my Nikomedias Scene Rig here. So back. Nikomedias Scene Rig, and I don't need nothing but a background, and the background should be dark, something like that. Okay, save. And I need render settings. Here I go to load preset, load GI setting for the moment. Don't need ambient occlusion here. And that should give us already something to see. Here, so, yep, we see something. Sorry. Now we can try to make this. Can try to activate the displacement here. Yeah, we see it works a little bit, but let's go here to 4 subdivisions. Makes not a lot of difference, but we should see something. Yeah, it's definitely displaced. Let's go with 3. Could do it like this, but for the tutorial and so that it renders faster, and I disable the displacement here. And here I did this, I did it as PBR. Let's delete here something. In the glossy channel, I don't need here the thing, and the reflection strength. I bring out the roughness and make this, let's say, 30 to 30 or so. That should be fine. And let's use a different HDRI so that you can see nicely some things. HDRI indoor. Going. Oops. Should just give a totally different look. Yep, it does. Okay, I don't want this. Let's see, how can we get rid of this here? Roughness, got a 20 here. But we don't forget we have a very low resolution at the moment. So we have everything at 1 here, and this is very low. So and this is the reason it renders so fast. But for the moment, and I want it dark. I want everything dark. So I could simply, I only need the normal map here. So to get the structure of the wood, I don't need the wood itself. So I delete simply this. You see, I have only the structure now. That looks nice. And make this dark. Okay. Maybe even less. Yeah, that looks nice. Save. And now I want this amber thing. This will be nice. So we need another material, of course. I name this amber. No color, only transparency. In the reflectance, I'm not sure if it's correct or not, but it always, if you use transparency in the reflectance, it's always use default specular and transparency channel. I always did that. Delete this. I don't see any difference here. So go to this, and I want here, let's say 5, and now to the color. Don't use the color from here. So that this is, first of all, we need to assign it. Otherwise, we wouldn't see a lot. Okay. Maybe it's easier if we go and delete the Torus. No, not really. What I would have to do here is go to the HDRI setting and scene by refraction off. Yeah. Okay. And don't change color here on the color channel. This is, but it looks good. Okay. But the correct way would be, let's. This is fun. That's funny. Okay, it looks good. What shall I do? But I would do it this way, so I go down and make it over the absorption here. So I make here something yellow color, so like this, and here as lower this number, as darker the color will be. So when I go here to 10 or something, this would be the correct way. difference. So, and for the bubbles, see what we do here. Maybe we can combine it a little bit. But honestly, I don't like to say it, but it looked nice here. But it looks more metallic. It looks not really like glass. But you can do it however you will. Let's make the bubbles now. The bubbles is a simple material. Bubbles. Come on, bubbles, please. So, and here the bubbles only transparency. Wing, wing, wing. Reflectance, go to layer. Bye. Here I want in the reflectance transparency. I want nothing. And here in the transparency, this should be something like air, and air has an IOR of 1. So when I go to here, and it's a good idea to assign it to the corona in this case. So now but it shouldn't. But 1.1 and maybe I can just see them. But when I go back to 1. But now transparency. This is okay. This is all okay. But when I go now into amber material, go here to white. And up. This is 10. Something I missed now here. Right, this is okay. What do I miss here? This is, yeah, this I miss. Come on, what's wrong now? It's not possible that this is just because of the bubbles. No. Why is it now like this? I will find it out, no problem. I don't want any color in here. We see the color is here, so that works. Bubbles. This is the helix, okay. I'll bring it again up, maybe something went wrong. No, when I speak so quiet, it's just that I speak with me, and mostly I don't speak nice about me. Let's hide the Torus. Okay, we see something. Aha, I think I got it. We have to bring back the refraction here. Yeah. Now that looks much nicer. So, and bring back the Torus. We have a little problem here. It looks great, but you see this black. This is not correct. It looks like they intersected, but they cannot intersect. It's simply not possible. But let's make the Torus, the twist, the helix, a little smaller, a little thinner. And we can do so if we go to our helix here and go to our extensions, pi parametric tools. Meanwhile, everyone should know it, I think. You will find these tools on my website, and if you don't have it already, you can download it on my website. link to my website in the description. So, and we need here the move, normal move modifier. So I selected my helix, hold my shift key, normal move modifier. You see now it goes up, but I don't want it in this direction. When I go to 0, it does nothing. So again, let's do this. And when I simply go to -0.1 should be -0.1 should be enough. Yeah. Now we have a nice thing, and we see our bubbles. And now I try again to do this the other way. So here 100, here white, and here amber-like. Makes not really a lot of difference. But I prefer the other way. So here 10. Yeah, I prefer this way. Okay, so far so good. Let's make a nice surrender out of this. We know, of course, we know the animation works, so this is no question. But I want to make here a middle GI render to see how long we take. Shouldn't take all too long, but a minute or so. Mid GIs. Let's go up here. So don't need ambient occlusion. If you wanna work with ambient occlusion, don't forget here to activate evaluate transparency. But this again needs time to calculate. But that's it. Don't have to do more here. So output, I'll get to 720 is enough for now. Look ratio, current frame, okay, and Shift R. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, of course, it takes a little to render because it's the physical render and it's transparency, but it shouldn't take all too long. The bubbles we see, maybe we should make the bubbles a little bigger. Something. No, that's okay. It looks like they intersect still, but it cannot be normally. I will make the Torus smaller as well. Yeah, this problem we don't have in Octane. I did get exactly the same without making this smaller. It rendered and it did what I wanted that it does. But okay, let's make the bubbles bigger. It looks not bad, of course. So let's make bubbles bigger bubbles. 1.5 bigger bubbles. Okay, we have bigger bubbles. No. Let's make a render without the Torus here. Shift R. Should render fast, yeah. That looks good. Of course, you could do it like this as well. Make one render with masks and combine it later on in post, right? But the bubbles looked like they would not have any texture on it, but they have. Corona, let's go to the bubbles and let's see if we can make this a little nicer. So maybe they want, but the bubbles are air, so why should it? Yeah, but it looks better like this. Okay, now we have bubbles. Okay, good. This is 1.1. Yeah, 1.1 is better. And now let's bring in this Torus again. I'm on a higher thing here, but that looks good. But what I want to try is make the Torus a little smaller as well. So I copy this under the Torus as well. Let's see if it has any thing. No. Make the Torus much smaller, -1, let's say. Delete this and make here -0.5. No, of course you see through it. Of course we have to see something dark. We have to see the black. So it is correct. But yeah, we see it here as well. But here it renders nicer. Yeah, of course we see the black here. We see the darker parts. It's the same like here. Now it looks nice. Now let's make again a nice render here. So a nicer render, not a nice render, but a nicer render. Little GI, save, Shift R, and let's see what we get. Yeah, we are about 1.5 minutes. We can make this a little quicker. Let's see what we can do. So, yeah, we don't have subsampling 3. Now it should render far quicker. Yeah. And we don't see a lot of difference here. So you see this and this. It even looks better with less samples. We see the bubbles better. Good. Okay. So we get a render in half a minute. Let's go a little closer here. So, camera. Go to the camera, bring it, zero it out here, so 0, 0, 0, 0, and bring it closer and render this one here. And of course in the post work you can sharpen things up, or we could even use a denoiser, but I look close at the moment. I don't think we need a denoiser. A denoiser would wash this out, so that it is maybe not so nice. We can try it, but I like this. I wanted to have these marks here. So. Yeah, that's okay for the physical render. I think it's okay for physical. I'll make another one with denoiser now, just to have a so denoiser, Shift R. Where am I now? Did something. I did something not entirely. Here I am at 0. Okay. When we wanna bring back the camera position, you cannot do it with Control C, or you do it with Control Shift C or Shift Z. When I go Control Shift Z, I have this. Yeah, you see it now. So these are the camera things. So, and render it now with a denoiser. I'm still the denoiser is still here. Look. Will not be the same position now. Well, it is the same position. As I said, for Octane it's the same, and just make it transparent, a specular material like I did it here, with absorption, put the color inside what you want, and yeah, the project file is on Patreon. So. And in Octane you don't have to work with the move modifier, but it is a nice thing to have. So now we have, yeah, it looks a little washed out, but it looks good. This is without denoiser, and this is with denoiser. Okay, I prefer the denoiser version. I did not think, but the denoiser takes some of the powers, little of the powers, but not much. We have very nice powers here, that's great. Okay, I think we can be happy with this. So, yeah, with something to say about this. If you have questions, complaints, or requests, or whatever, suggestions, please let me know. And yeah, my next tutorial will come quite soon, I think. So maybe, what's the date? It's tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I will try it, and the next will be it's online. It was this one here. This is just playing with displacement. This is only displacement, and it works with UV and everything. Okay, so let's go back here, and I think we have, well, look at this, it's almost the same result in both renders. I really like this one here. Okay, so have a wonderful day. It's not really evening, and stay safe, take care, and yeah, I hope you're with me in my next tutorial. And yeah, as I said, project file on Patreon, and I always appreciate it if I get new patrons, and thank you so much to my current patrons. I'm really thankful, and it's really great. Thank you very much. And not only this, I am thankful for every subscriber on my channel. So you see, I have now about 47,000, And I think this is not few before for one guy. So yeah, I'm a little proud about it as well. So good. So yeah, that's it. All the best here from Austria, Vienna, and tschüss und baba.